Altcoins set to explode or implode? Let's ask the experts. Question everything, trust nothing. Welcome to Debate Crypto. It's your boy, Crypto Keeper, here on another Magic Money Monday. Super excited about the show today. We've got a new guest for you, so make sure to smash that like. Make sure to follow all the creators on here. The newest to the show, we've got your boy, Piano Matty B. Matty B, how are you?
Good. How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Glad that you are here, brother. I'm super excited to have you on. We've talked a number of times on Around the Blockchain. I think we definitely agree on a lot of definitely geopolitical and crypto things. So I'm super excited to have you on. And a regular on the show, Bill Noble. Bill, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. Nice to be here.
Did you get all moved, Bill? Everything all situated?
I am 95% situated, yes.
Moving is, I'd rather maybe eat my heart out with a spoon because I absolutely hate moving. So sorry I couldn't be there to help you, Bill. But, hopefully you enjoyed that. Crypto fan, make sure to smash the likes if you haven't already. Like I said, follow Piano Matty B. Follow Bill Noble on Noble Crypto. Crypto Noble. Sorry, I said that backwards. Because they got a lot of great stuff going on. And actually, let me start off. Matty B, before we dive into it, you've got something that you're doing that's definitely a little bit different in the crypto space. Talk to me about what you have going on with the pianos.
Well, every Friday, Saturday, we do a live stream, and it goes from 9:30 to 12. And essentially, it's all people, all of my subscribers come and watch it. We just kind of like hang out there. They request. It's to a live audience, so it's in Winnipeg. So we're actually playing to a live crowd. But to me, the audience online in the YouTube chat, I feel like I'm playing to them way more than I do the live crowd. It's very weird. So we're developing this, and our goal is that it becomes the biggest dueling live piano stream in the world.
Starring Piano Matty B.
That's right.
Yeah, no, that's super dope, dude. So you're literally sitting in front of a live audience, and then you've got the camera set up, and you are streaming to YouTube in that regard, right?
Yeah, there's a million things going on. So we have the live audience giving me requests and my partner Kyle, and we have the YouTube community giving us requests. So I'm reading the room, reading the YouTube crowd. It's pretty wild. It's a good time. It's like all the creative aspects firing at once. It's pretty amazing.
That's super cool, dude. Well, good luck with that. Bill, what do you have going on, good sir?
All right. Well, we've got, the market update going on Crypto Noble YouTube. I work for Emerging Asset Group, so I'm always doing research for that community. And then I've got new experimental research at Unhinged Crypto. So we're taking the GAN and the mystical stuff to a new level.
Oh, I like it. I'll be looking forward to seeing that. You have to let me know when that goes live, brother. All right, so you heard it here. Make sure you're following them. Smash the like if you haven't already. Let me jump into the chat real quick. Who came in first? Well, the first one that I can see, and sometimes I miss it because I'm looking at a different set of comments than you guys are. It looks like Puddles. Puddles, good to see you, brother. Shout out to you. You've been a long-time subscriber. We appreciate you for being here. Part of the DCA fam. Kenton in the house. Good to see you. Josh Beamer. Thank you guys for all being here and being just always showing up. So we just really appreciate that. All right, let's start off as always. Let's check out the market caps, see what's going on over there, and then we'll dive into some TA. Let me update this. We have got the global market cap at, drum roll please, 1.19 trillion with a T dollars. That's down 1.79%. We have got trending XRP. What a surprise. It's actually down a little bit, but guys, it can't always just go up and to the right. Newsflash. Bitcoin, however, and we're going to talk about this today, is below 30K right now. So could that be some bad news? I don't know. That's why we brought the experts on to let you know what's going on with that. Ethereum sitting down 2.64%. It's at 1881. XRP, like I just said, down almost 6% at 72 cents. BNB down a little bit. Cardano sitting, 3.8% down at 30 cents right now. Side note, I think that's a great opportunity, not financial advice. And then Solana down, Dogecoin down, Polygon Matic down. As per the usual, if Bitcoin is down, we know the rest of the market is down. All right, let's get into it. Let me start off with Maddie. So Maddie, first time on the show, right? Love your content. Love having you on around the blockchain when we're on there together. Let's just start off with this. Like, tell everyone a little bit about why you are and how Piano Matty B came to be, and what do you focus on as it relates to your YouTube channel?
Well, it's an interesting story. I'm not sure you know, or I'm not sure most people know now, but I originally started on BitBoy's channel.
Mm-hmm. I remember that's where I first saw you. You were doing the morning, the morning TA.
Morning TA, and that
was fun.
It came out of nowhere. It was very serendipitous. I was just, a live stream watcher, and meanwhile, I was doing live streams with my little boy Duke, who was 4 or 5 at the time. He'd sit on my piano, and I would teach him how to read, and I would just put letters across the screen, and it was all green screen and everything. And so he threw out like a Hail Mary, hey, we need a TA guy. And at the time, I was, looking at charts all day long when I wasn't doing live streams with my little boy Duke.
Yeah.
And so the next day, when I was setting up the lights and the camera for my live stream with my son that nobody watches, I was like, well, I might as well just do a little video and send it over to BitBoy. So I did like a quick minute video playing the piano, talking about Fibonacci retracements, et cetera, et cetera. And I sent it off. And at the time, that was when BitBoy's channel exploded into, like, it was 1 million. And to me, I didn't know about YouTube. I thought 1 million, that's massive. And so he was the biggest crypto YouTuber at the time. Maybe Coin Bureau was bigger, but overall the thing. So when I sent away that video, it was like me sending, I see you have a guitar. Remember wanting to get a record deal back in the day? You like send off demo tapes to Sony.
Right. Yeah.
Well, to me, my video to BitBoy was like a demo tape to Sony Music. I didn't even expect a reply. Right. And I forgot about it. And 2 weeks later, I think it was Nick DeMonte. He's like, hey, we got a lot of submissions. Yours is the weirdest. Let's talk.
And yours is the weirdest. But it ended up being a great thing, dude. I always enjoyed it. It was pretty cool for sure.
Awesome. Thanks. Yeah. And 2 weeks later, I was on his live stream, and the day after the live stream, I started doing it every day. And that lasted for almost a year. And then I've been on my own for the past 2. So it's been a wild little YouTube ride. So it's all, Ben Armstrong again.
Yeah. Well, hey, I got to give some credit where credit's due as well. I became friends with Ben through Wendy, and pretty quickly, I would say a majority of our following came originally from around the blockchain. Got on there, had that opportunity, and it's great. And what I love about it is that I am of the belief, and I've heard people totally disagree with me on this, I am of the belief that the YouTubers can all work together, right? I know that theoretically we are all competing for views and that people only have a certain amount of time, blah, 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 blah. But the reality is people are going to find what show they like to watch. They're going to find something they're going to say, hey, that's what I like for whatever reason, and they're going to go with it, right? Yep. And so I think we can work together. It's why we like to bring other people on the show. It gives them exposure, gives us exposure to new people. I really do think we can all work together. So that's pretty freaking cool, dude. Bill, you've been on here 1,000,001 times, which we love. But for the first timers that maybe might be watching today, maybe it's Maddie's crew. Talk to me about what you like to focus on your channel and what makes it different.
Okay, well, what makes it different is that I got a 30-year background, some of that crypto, most of it legacy, as an analyst for, various evil empire organizations for Wall Street. Okay, and I like to put, crypto together with things like Tom DeMark's analysis, so there's a quantitative element. I like to do stuff from William Gann, which, can be anything from mathematics to astrology. And then I like to put that together and give people like the flavor of being in the morning meeting of a macro hedge fund when I talk about the news. Yeah. And I just try to kind of put it all together for people. So, they really do get a market update.
Your market update is wildly popular, and I can see why. I've watched it a number of times. It's great. It is really well put together, and it does feel like that. So keep killing it over there, bro. Glad that things are going well. All right, so Maddie, I know you're a Bitcoin bull, and I know that that's really what you do focus on. And for obvious reasons, it makes a lot of sense. So we can't start off with a crypto show without anything other than, drum roll, please, Bitcoin. So show me your current analysis on what you're looking at as it relates to Bitcoin, if you would.
Well, I always say I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I'm just a human minimalist. So that's why I favor Bitcoin. And at the end of the day, a lot of the alts just kind of follow the pattern. Bitcoin goes up, the alts go down. But I have this kind of macro outlook. Let me see if I can bring this up here. Where am I looking? For the weekly chart, right? Okay, so here's the weekly. And we have this epic cup and handle, right? But at the end of at every breakout of a cup and handle, you have a cute little bull flag. And we just zoom in there. There's the bull flag. And of course, to find the price probability of any bull flag, you take the pull, you slide it all to the breakout point, and then we're all at 36.6-ish. But this is just the bull flag. The cup and handle itself, wow, that's 44K. So ultimately, it took a year to make that cup and handle. You know, it might take a year to play out. So that's where I'm looking at. So all these, like right now, we're under 30, or we just hop back into that channel, but we dip down, hit that 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart. But, you know, it can go, it can just chop broccoli here for another 12 months, really. And then 44K.
Yeah.
Eventually, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm actually going to pull up here on Chart Prime, and if you guys are looking for an easy indicator to use, did want to show you. Keeper's been doing a little bit of trading, trying to learn a couple little things here and there. Don't disconnect my session. There we go. So let it reload here. We've got Chart Prime pulled up here. Got it pulled up on the 4-hour, and ultimately you can see that on Thursday and Friday we went through what it calls a breaker block, and that's an order block that effectively, if we get through that and stay through it, we effectively are probably going to continue to move the upside. But what we saw was that breaker block broke to the downside, and we have right now the prime score on the 4-hour is at a 3. That means we don't have a huge movement happening. The consolidation score is at about a 4. So things, like Matty B said, are kind of choppy on the prime oscillator. We see negative momentum after we're being heavily overbought here. Same thing Thursday. This was all when the XRP stuff was happening, and then we're moving back to the downside. So money flows moving to the downside. Everything just kind of seems like it's headed down. Let me switch over to the daily right quick and see if that is confirming the same suspicions that I have. And yes, we had a reversal, that's on the daily. No. Pardon my mistake there. That was a ways back. Let's look at the prime score. Prime score 9, consolidation score 9. So we had a nice move in the last few days, but now again we are just chopping along. So there's a lot of different indicators here. You see these reversals. These ultimately, depending on, you can kind of tweak some of the settings. If you're looking to get more of these, if you're trading more frequently, there's basically you can change some of the oscillator settings on there, and it will give you more frequent alerts. Myself and Crusader kind of look a little bit more long term, so I'm looking for more of a big move, and that would be more like a swing trade as opposed to a day trade. But yeah, if you guys are looking to get that, it is a 1 month for free, so you can look at the link in the description if that's something that you're interested in checking out. All right, so Billy boy, let me ask you, we can't look at the charts alone when we have you on the show. Talk to me about what's going on astrologically right now, and what's something that we should possibly be paying attention to in that regard.
Okay, so the most important thing that's coming up is there's some pretty straightforward moon-related information. So let me get the screen up here.
Cool.
Okay, so this is some spurious information. These are all of the new moons since, let's say, go back to FTX.
Okay.
Right? Now, the new moon can bring in, the destructive energy of like Saturn. So it's not shocking that sometimes when you have a new moon coming up, like right now in Australia, overseas, like the new moon is over our heads. So it does look, ironically, it looks a little bit like the pre-FTX top where, it like ranged, it made this big lurch higher and then fell out of bed. Now, I don't think that's what's going to happen as in FTX, but there are a few things to consider. One, the government's got egg on its face after XRP So if they've got Bitcoin to sell, they would use that ammo now.
Okay.
Okay. Because, you know, the last thing they need is to get embarrassed by Bitcoin, get embarrassed by XRP, have the dollar index unable to get through 100, and then Bitcoin basically go on a rope to 35K.
Yeah.
As our colleague said. And I think the other thing that's going on here is fear of the Fed, right? In other words, the Fed is at the end of the month, like the 25th. Okay. Inflation is at 4%. They want it at 2%. There are reasons for them to hike and not hike, but crypto is pretty smart as a market. Like everyone thinks crypto is a dumb market. That's not true. Crypto is fast. So if there's going to be something to worry about, crypto is going to react first. So if you think about what's going on, if you think about like what our colleague said and what this shows, it basically means you want to be standing down there with a fishing net, right? Like the DCA process for 36, 48 and beyond has effectively begun. That's it, right? So if they hit it, you know, buying on red days, you don't have to buy the first dip, but you know, red is where it's at over the next 2 weeks.
Yep. I couldn't agree with you more. And I think red has been where it's at for a long time, depending on your methodology as it relates to the crypto markets. We talk about it a lot. You know, people think that it's not sexy, that Crusader and I talk a lot about dollar cost averaging. The reason we bring you guys onto the show is because you've been successful at trading and really understand the trading side of things. And that's just not something that we dove too heavily into. So we want to bring the best on for that. But the long-term play, because it is so long-term for me, is exactly what you're saying, Bill. It's the buying the opportunities, whether it's every single day, every single week, whatever, you know. You can spread it out however however it makes sense for you. But the reality is these last however many months have been nothing but one fat opportunity. And even if we do get the reaction that you were talking about, effectively the quote unquote FTX dump, though maybe not as extreme, it would be a good thing for people that are trying to dollar cost average, because we do know long term, where are we headed? We're headed up and to the right. Bitcoin is the strongest performing asset of all time. I actually got corrected on that. Gary Cardone told me that Tesla was a better performing asset, but I don't know how far back on the, how far back on the charts we went with that. But ultimately, you know what I'm getting at. It has been up and to the right since its inception, and I believe that it's going to continue to go that way. So I like it. I think the dollar cost average strategy works. Let me just stop real quick. Chat. Make sure to smash that like if you haven't already. Says Dave Digital wanted to jump in here. It said Matty B live dueling pianos every Friday and Saturday night live on YouTube.
Nice.
I'm guessing Dave Digital is checking that out. So keep killing it, brother. All right, now let me pull up. Let me see where this is at. 1 second. You know what? No. Let's kind of shift gears a little bit. So, Matty, we definitely are on the same stream or on the same page as it is with government politics. We've talked some backstage and on stage and whatnot. Talk to me about some things that you see on the horizon for altcoins and Bitcoin, and how do you see it possibly affecting the crypto markets as a whole?
Well, I think we've heard a lot of chatter in the past little while about the death of altcoins and Gary Gensler's coming for it and blah, 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 blah. But I think at the end of the day, there's not much that is going to affect, like let's say US just was out of the market, there's an entire world out there that's going to keep going around crypto and all the altcoins. However, I don't put a lot of emphasis on the altcoins, because if there was anything that was going to take a hit to the chin first and maybe an 8 count, it would be the altcoins. But other than that, I think everything leads to Bitcoin. Like the cliche where Bitcoin fixes this. I mean, you could almost bring up anything and Bitcoin is going to make everything better, even on like a philosophical level, right? So as a trader, the reason why I got into crypto was of the amazing speculation and gains you could get, right? I didn't get them really. I came in at the wrong time. I didn't understand the cycles. So I've just been basically a long time hodler since I got in. And that is the revolution that you get stuck in, right? I came here for the speculative gains. Now I'm here for the revolution. Yeah. So I don't actively trade crypto, I just hodl from day one and I DCA like you. When I was trading, I traded currency on the 5-minute chart like a little psychopath.
DGen.
Right. And I was pretty good at it, but I wasn't good enough. So I tell everyone you have to be a professional trader. And by professional, you have to be the same level as an NHL hockey player. If you're not that good at trading, well, then you're probably going to get wrecked. If not now, if not 6 months, eventually you will. NHL player, if you're that level of a trader, you can take your hits. You actually know when the swings are coming. You're a little more into the behind the scenes when the manipulation happens. You have to be that good on every level. You have to be pro. And if you're not pro at it, well, I don't recommend it anymore. I did when I was a currency trader because it was a nice way to not have a job or a client, right?
Yeah.
So I had no boss and I had no client and I loved it. But the swings are crazy and it's 24/7, right? So you just walk into becoming a trader, you really have to be 24/7 geopolitical. You have to be watching the news all the time. You really struggle to have a life. And anyone who's traded for a long enough time can probably understand that.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of the traders say the exact same thing. It's part of the reason that I haven't dove farther into trading. I do it occasionally when there's an opportunity in front of me. I can't be sitting at my computer all day long with my construction business and other things I have going on. I just physically can't do it. And so because of that, I do know the risks associated, just like you said. I have gotten my, ass handed to me on some trades where otherwise I might not have if I made some better decisions or was sitting at the, computer to watch something play out, whereas I wasn't. And so just have that game plan together. Let me just follow up with this though, Maddie. So you're doing a lot of the DCA stuff, but you also do chart. So are you charting and then actively using that towards when you are DCAing into a position or continuing to add to your stack?
Yes, I do, but to my own detriment, because I believe a true healthy DCA cares not for bull nor bear, right? So I get caught up in my charts. Like right now in this channel, which let's call the support 29.8 and the resistance 31.4, right? So this is a great time to DCA anytime in this channel, right? But the trader in me is, well, she's getting close to breaking that support. And then we're going to another, and that's an even better way to DCA, right? I got to get that out of my mind, right? Right now is one of the best times you could ever DCA. Like in a year from now, looking back at 30K, wondering, why didn't I put any money in at 30K, right?
Yep. That's exactly what happens to so many people. They're always looking for that better opportunity. And it's the same thing with profit taking too. I remember Bill, I've talked to Bill about this before. Bill actually did help me out tremendously when we had never met at this point before. And he was talking about the sell in May and walk away, I think back in 21, maybe it might have been. I'm not sure. That was still when he was with They Who Shall Not Be Spoken Of. And ultimately, I was able to take some stuff off the table as it related to ETH, but the greed in me, I wasn't trying to change my long-term position per se. I wasn't trying to exit out of the market. I had the opportunity to take a lot more profits that would have been hugely, hugely smart, but I was doing the exact same thing to the opposite of what you're talking about, Maddie. I said, man, you know what? We gotta still have further to go. Let me just take a little bit off the table. We'll let it ride a little bit further before I take more off the table. And it just doesn't seem to work out that way. That's part of the reason why I've kind of given up on that and tried to do exactly what you're saying, Maddie, and just continue to buy when I have the dry powder to do so, as and try not to get too far caught up into exactly what you're talking about. Well, let me ask you this, Bill. We XRP obviously had huge pump, and then the market followed, at least for that day anyway. Talk to me about like any other alts that you might think would bode well after hearing the news that XRP is not a security. And in conjunction with that, if you got a chart you want to throw on it too, I won't be mad about that either.
Okay. Well, let's start with, it's kind of a group answer, like altcoin for the next cycle that also happens to be trading okay, that's going to benefit from XRP. So let's just review what we learned from XRP. The coin itself is not a security. If there was an issue, it's how Ripple sold it to institutions. So Ripple pays a fine, and good luck calling individual coins securities. Good luck with that. All right. So that is probably, and Mr. Market knew that, which is why Solana was doing so well, right? Solana was at 15. My partner actually picked Solana for the next cycle. That's the unhinged crypto part, right? Solana is now on like a 4-hour chart. Okay. It obviously had its blow off top. That's what these 5s and 0s mean. And then now these trends on DeMark, as the audience may know, if not, these little numbers are like met when a set of conditions are met. So, the low is lower than the low 5 days ago. And normally these little trends stretch from 1 to 9, and then there's another version. But it looks like Solana is, correcting perhaps down to 22, right? In terms of XRP, I think you have to look at XRP on a weekly basis. All right. Like our work shows that XRP can just do a gradual uptrend to $3. Now, I know what the XRP army wants. They wanted
$50,000 tomorrow.
They wanted it $5 tomorrow. But I mean, if you look at XRP on the weekly chart, I mean, the real resistance is at 84 cents. And this is the start of an uptrend when you see these 1s and these 2s. Okay. So XRP, you're essentially waiting for like a 62% retracement.
Okay.
So sometimes, I don't know, sometimes it's simple, right? You just line your chart up and, you look and say, okay, XRP had this huge move. Halfway back is 70 cents. I'm sure a lot of people thought it was going up forever and they missed it. That's never the case. Okay. Right. And then 62% is down here at 65 cents.
Okay.
So if there's a coin for the next cycle, it's probably Solana. If there's a coin that could benefit from XRP, it could be Monero, right? In other words, privacy, right? Are you going to transact on the internet in the metaverse with everybody looking at what you're doing? Very interesting to see Monero kind of perched on this. The mark work draws the support and resistance for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Monero is kind of perched there and not going lower. And I do kind of like the price action in Zcash. The president of the United States called up 3,000 National Guard troops.
Yeah.
For what? For what? Right.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to ask yourself that question. So privacy, I'm interested in.
I thought I actually saw, I'll give him a shout out. He used to go by Crypto Weatherman, but Timothy James threw out there on a TikTok, which I thought was interesting. He dove into the government's budget, into their yearly budget. And a normal, apparently, movement within the government budget for defense will be 0 to 2.5%, like on the uptick yearly. And guess what? 2024, it's up. They've got 10% more worked into their budget. I don't know about you, but when I heard that, I was in the Marine Corps. I know how much money that is. We're talking about probably something to the tune of $100 billion. That's ultimately going to, about $100 billion that could possibly flow in, that they're going to be sitting there extra. Why would we need that if things were stable, or we thought they were going to continue to be stable? That is definitely a little bit of a wake up call when I saw it. And I'm just trying to pay attention to everything. Sometimes people give me crap about getting into the politics, but the reality is the reason that I get into them is because they absolutely 100%, no matter what anyone says, they matter for what's happening in these markets. They just do. Mm-hmm. Right. Maddie, I know you know that. Maddie, let me just ask you real quick. What are your thoughts on what Bill said as it relates to just alts are going to overall be a benefactor from this XRP case? Have you talked through this or thought through this much?
Well, I was actually quite happy that he brought up Solana, because I've been wrestling with Solana for the past 6 months, because it takes so much shade the past little while. Like, I mean, it's the ugly duckling, redheaded middle child of the altcoins. It went from the sweetheart of the ball to just almost the most hated altcoin there. Mm-hmm. And I am attracted to, the burning buildings. Like, well, why is everyone running from this? And so back to what I was saying before, I should just take the dry powder and put it into Bitcoin and be done with it. But I've been watching Solana. So I was hoping that, Bill or yourself or both of you could talk me out of it.
Talk you out of putting it into Bitcoin, or talk you out of putting it into Solana?
Taking the dry powder, not putting it into Bitcoin, putting it into Solana. Can you talk me out of that?
So you know what? Let me touch on that real quick, and my answer is going to not be chart related whatsoever. Solana, at least last run, and I think you guys will both agree with this, was venture capital funded and pumped, and you know, that's what really led the charge there. So my question would be, is there a way for you to go in and find out, Maddie, has that venture capital money exit? Did they use all of us as exit liquidity, and that's how it pulled back? And if so, if they pulled out effectively all of that liquidity, are they planning on putting it back in? Now, if they haven't, and they actually took a hit too, which would surprise me, but if they haven't and they actually took a huge hit too, then I don't know that I can disagree with you too much, because they're definitely going to want to see that opportunity come back their way, or to push it back their way. Bill, what do you think?
Okay, my understanding is, and I guess this is rumor based, and is that, you know, there could be a venture capitalist with an unlock in Solana coming up. Okay. I think the best case to put money in Bitcoin instead of Solana between now and the end of the year is the fact that, you know, Bitcoin dominance is just up and to the right. In other words, at this stage of the cycle, you know, even though, like, you know, Gensler can't just indiscriminately kill altcoins, you know, at this stage in the cycle, right, Bitcoin just does better than just about any other altcoin. Or said differently, altcoins can't really collectively hold a bid against Bitcoin for very long. So Solana has a run, right? Bitcoin comes back to the dominant position. You want to do Solana? I think there's a solar eclipse in October, and I can't believe that that's not going to prior history in an event in risk assets like stocks or even bonds. So if you get, you know, if they shake the tree right into Solana, right, that's when you go, oh, wow, look, you know, they've cheapened it up. Because XRP, right? You say to somebody in the XRP is going to win the lawsuit and retail is going to be fully able to trade it. Where's XRP? They'd be like $2. It's at 70 cents. The market will give you time. So it's Bitcoin now, you know, Solana later.
I think that's an interesting thought. And then I also, to add on to that, Bill, or Maddie, what I would say is the money that you're looking to put in, just something maybe to ask yourself, is the money that you're looking to put in, is it more what you would view as kind of swing opportunity money? Because you're obviously going to have, most likely, just from the sheer market cap ability to move, probably more opportunity in Solana for bigger gains. I think the question becomes, what part of your portfolio is that? Is this a part of your portfolio that you've got some risk tolerance for? Or are you just trying to be safe and continue to stack your position? Are you going to ultimately put it back into Bitcoin anyway?
Yeah, it all goes back into Bitcoin. So I'm just trying to, like, you know, I could put in Solana, maybe make a 4 or 5x in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
And then ultimately I would put it into Bitcoin. You know, there's no question about that. All the alt dust I have, I just keep, like, I forget about them until I look at my ledger, like, oh, I forgot I had a bag of that. And I'll just wait for that to, you know, get out of the weeds maybe by 50 cents.
Yeah.
And I'll throw it onto Bitcoin.
Okay. Cool. Well, hopefully you get that figured out here before too long. I know I have been relatively boring as it relates to what I have and haven't been getting into as of late. I've been continuing to stack Ethereum and little pieces, parts of Bitcoin when I have the opportunity. I just haven't really personally had a lot of opportunity to do so. I made some really good runs on Ethereum, but that was just playing some of the games that people were playing as it relates to some of these meme coins. You know, I got in on some of that action and was able to actually capitalize on it and whatnot. So I don't know. Ultimately, I'm trying to do the same thing as you are, Maddie. And it looks like Bill just dropped off. I'm hoping he's going to be able to log back in. I'm not sure. We'll figure out with technical difficulties there. If he does jump back in, fantastic. If he doesn't, well, I apologize. I'm not sure if it's going to let him or not. So, Maddie, let me ask you this. Do you have is Solana, would Solana be your random altcoin pick for this next, like if you had to pick one altcoin for this next bull run for huge gains? And again, we are not giving financial advice here. We're just speculating and talking about things that we're looking at. Is that what you would look at for this possibility of huge gains in this next bull run? And if not, what would it be? And do you have a chart possibly that you want to show with it? What do you got going on?
It is Solana, only because I have this buddy who basically lives on the Solana network day to day. So you ask yourself this, well, do you know anyone that lives on any blockchain on a day-to-day basis without, like, let's say someone operating on Ethereum? Well, you're probably going to, unless you're an Ethereum whale or a Bitcoin whale, you're going to go broke pretty fast doing all the
transactions
paying for it. But he always tells me, put $1 in Solana and you can basically trade ad nauseum for a year. He's in and out. He's minting NFTs. He's buying, selling. And it's like the speed, like he sends me all these videos of the speed of Solana, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's amazing. When I see that, I'm like, that's amazing.
It works.
So, but then at the same time, I'm like, but there's so much FUD in it. And is it just because the pre-mint and all the centralization of it and we're the exit liquidity for all the people in the know? Is that it? It's like, but okay, let's say that is it. There's still some good tech I feel that's going on there.
Yeah. I think I've talked about this a lot before. I think that this next bull run is going to be a utilitarian bull run. I think actually Bill has talked with me about this, maybe even on the show. I think that the opportunity in this next run, and I really hope I'm right on this. And the reason I hope that I'm right on this so much is because I want to see what crypto can actually do for our society, like move us forward. It doesn't need to be the casino forever. It's fun. You get opportunities. Okay, cool. But I think that for some people to just really truly wake up, it's going to wake up to the fact that, hey, this is the future. It's going to have to really revolve around problem solving. And I like what you said there about Solana being incredibly fast, transaction fees really low, so it works, right? Well, when it's actually on, right, when the network isn't down. But that's always the Solana joke. But yeah, I need to, as well versed as I am, and as long as I've been in crypto, I actually would need to do some, probably a heavy little bit of lifting and playing around to be able to move stuff around and then get onto Solana blockchain to do, because I just haven't done it. And if you've been in crypto for any amount of time, the different blockchains operate differently, and you do kind of need to know the ins and outs. Have you messed around on Solana too much there, Matty B? Have you played around at all with it? I
haven't. I fear. Like, I see the guitar in the background. Do you do music production?
I built a studio. I built a music studio in my last house. Coincidentally, it was like 6 months before we moved. I spent a ton of money on it. I do some beat production. Used to do some freestyle stuff. I play guitar. I would say I am pretty decent at doing some of the beat productions. I play guitar okay, and I'm pretty decent on some freestyle rap stuff. But it's a hobby. I like music. Yeah.
Well, you'll understand this then, and maybe anyone that's in music or in music production, like when you get onto a like say Pro Tools,
Ableton. Yeah,
so I started on Pro Tools for about, I don't know, 10 years. And I was so fast on it. You could ask me to do anything. I could do it. And if I didn't know how to do it, I could backdoor it and I could figure out a way to trick the program I could just muscle that platform. And then it started doing some things I didn't like. And I heard great things about Ableton, kind of like Solana. It's like, oh, you should try this Ableton. It's really quick. It does everything Pro Tools does, but quicker and better. I'm like, but I don't want to make that jump. And that fear of the jump of the platforms is what's keeping me from Solana. And my friend who's all over Solana is like, man, it's simple.
Just do it.
And I'm also scared that it's going to be so simple. I'm going to love it. And then, the highway opens up for Solana. Hey, good luck, bad luck. Who knows, right?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. On the opposite side, just with the music thing real quick, I actually started with Ableton because everybody told me that was the direction to go. I hadn't been in it as long as you, but ultimately I had a tough time with Ableton. It ultimately, for me, I think a lot of it was so much of live production value from the Ableton side of things that it was more made for live production more than it was the studio stuff. And I was doing more studio stuff. that it just was overwhelming for me. And I was actually going to make the jump the other way and jump over to Pro Tools. But I agree with you. As I've gotten farther and farther into crypto, I do the same thing, and I catch myself in the exact same position you're talking about. You get comfortable, okay? But if the future is faster, more efficient, cheaper, if these are all things of the future and we know that, what's stopping us from trying that out? I know I've jumped onto the Polygon, jumped on and used Polygon multiple different times. That was kind of scary, if you will, at first, and it ended up being a great thing. But the reality is, it's taking the time to do it and just saying, okay, let me give this a shot, see what it looks like, spend a little bit of time, learn it, whatnot. So yeah, I don't know. You got me thinking I might try that out just to kind of see what see what's cooking over there.
Have you used Uniswap?
Oh yeah, I use Uniswap all the time. Yeah,
I was quite pleased at the ease of use of Uniswap, because I generally, my rule was, if I have to use Uniswap, I'm being a degenerate. If I can't get it on a simple platform.
Yeah.
But there were some things I wanted to get, and I was a little hesitant, but man, it was easy. It almost did it all for you, which was also a little scary.
Yeah, the Uniswap didn't take long to figure out. You do need some kind of tips and tricks if you're getting into something that's brand new. I learned this from the degen side of things, where you got to set your slippage level up if you know it's just coming out. There's some little tricks or whatever, but it's incredibly simple. Sometimes the fees would get outrageous on the Ethereum network, but that's just a reality of what we've seen with Ethereum over the years. But yeah, I like the decentralized part of that, though. It's not as decentralized as people like to think, but yeah, it works, and it's relatively easy.
Imagine trying to sell someone, a newbie, on Ethereum network or Solana network. I mean, you would have to basically make so many concessions for Ethereum, and Solana would be like, I feel like my little boy Duke would be like, I like Solana.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait for anything. I don't want to pay for anything. I just want Solana.
I totally get it. That's part of the reason why one of the big things that I'm stacking into coming into this next run is Polygon Matic. Not just the partnerships that they have going on with that's great, but it works. It's fast. It's overall relatively simple. And I think that's just kind of where we are headed. Hey guys, make sure to smash that like if you haven't already. Follow Piano Matty B. Follow Bill Noble. Bill did drop off. I'm going to guess there's probably a technical issue, because I know he would never just bail on us. Let me kind of round this out. Matty, I always like to teach somebody something. Okay, so if we've got people on the stream that are either new to trading or maybe even been in trading for a little while, what's something that you have learned from experience when it comes to trading that you think is really important for traders to know at every level, no matter how long they've been doing it?
Well, it's a combination of what I said before. Unless you're a pro, paper trade till you're pro. See, that's where it gets so murky, right? How do you become a pro? Well, the reason I got somewhat good at trading currency is that I learned by losing lots for a long time. And then eventually you lose less. But I was also a poker player. And, if you ask any successful poker player, it's like, if you can win 58% of the time, you're going to come out ahead.
Yeah.
Right. But with crypto and the swings, if you don't have tight stops and tight take profits, I mean, that 57% gets down to 50-50. And then at that point, well, it is a gamble. But my biggest thing is your time horizon. I have a 7-year one for everything. Almost everything I do in life, 7 years. Just got to let it play out. Anything less than that, and basically you're kind of gambling.
Yeah.
So time horizon is the most important in my books.
I think that anything in life is a gamble of some sort. Getting into a relationship is a gamble, whether it's going to work or not. Definitely investing. You can have all the bullish technicals, all the bullish fundamentals that you want. You're still taking a risk for putting money into something that is going to appreciate, that you're not going to buy at the wrong time, that the company or the crypto doesn't absolutely just collapse, that you don't get FTX. It's always a gamble. And I think that if you can know what your risk tolerance is and have an understanding of what it is that you're getting into, this is why we talk about education a lot. Read the Bitcoin Standard, understand what Bitcoin is fundamentally, how it works. Then you'll have probably a lot more ease when it comes to holding it through some of these huge movements that you see. Because if you truly know and understand something, or if it's a company in the stock market and you fundamentally understand what's happening in the background with this company, it's a lot easier to hold on when those price swings get crazy. And actually it gets so easy that when you absolutely see the bottom drop out, let's just say the COVID dip, best thing I ever did was buy that up like crazy. But it was because I was so convicted. I had such conviction about Bitcoin. So no, I definitely appreciate that. Let's round out the stream with this one, Maddie, because I've got I got a hard stop here. Got to take my daughter to swimming lessons. Let me ask you this. Is there, well, let's go with this one. Are you bullish or bearish on the rest of 2023 as a whole?
Well, I'm slightly bearish.
Okay.
Right. I feel like we might have hit our 100% gain for the year, the pre-halving year. And I think we might just kind of float down a bit. And when everyone's gets even, like I find the market itself is very, like the YouTube crypto sphere is very bored. The attention's kind of gone. It didn't even come back for big moves like a BlackRock or XRP, a little bit, but not like it didn't come roaring back. So I think we're going to wait till everyone's dead, bored, and then boom, 2024. That's when when my real bullish nature comes out. We're
gonna have you on sometime, Maddie, for one of our more politically inspired shows, because I definitely want to have some chats with you. I've heard some of the things that you've talked about, so we're definitely going to have you on again soon for that for sure, and we'll obviously have you back on for one of our days as well. But thank you very much for coming on. Crypto fam, make sure you're following Piano Matty B. He's got the dueling pianos. That's on Saturday nights, Matty, correct?
Friday, Saturday night, yeah.
Friday and Saturday. What time?
9:30 to 12 Central.
9:30 to 12 Central. So if you guys want to check that out, that is on your Piano Matty B YouTube channel, correct?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, make sure to check that out, guys. Smash the like on the way out if you haven't already. Crypto fam, we love you. You could be anywhere on a Monday, but you're hanging out with Debate Crypto. So just remember, question everything, trust nothing. And until next time, hodl like it's hot. We will see you soon. Thanks.